I think you should open the show curtains. Open. All right. 10 o'clock.
Can I start?
Yes.
Okay, because you know how I start.
Go for it.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, I start.
Hello everyone. It's Sunday morning. Welcome to Chat It Up with NRG. My name is Gergana Slavova and I am one of the owners of the beautiful NRG Ballroom in Tempe.
Morning everyone, I'm Rado.
The one who always wants to interrupt me.
Never.
He forgot you wanted to say.
I have nothing more to say.
Well, hello everyone, my name is Nikolai and I'm one of the owners of NRG Ballroom. And I'm usually the quiet one.
We sound like an AA meeting, like, hi, my name is Rado and I quit drinking 3 months ago. This is terrible. Anyway, we should work on our intro.
We get more and more boring with the intro every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as interesting.
I know.
We should do a fashion show next time.
Yeah.
To open.
Maybe we should
Nikki, it's so nice for you to join
I
us this
know.
weekend. Yeah.
Did you guys miss me last Sunday?
How was the
missed
week-long hangover?
Hey. How was yours?
I know I haven't. Well, last night I had a martini, but that's all.
Yeah, that's
it.
That's
a
it.
single martini.
Okay.
So we are excited for another amazing week that it's ahead of us at NRG. And now Gergana is going to update us with what's new.
It's like the weekend update.
The weekend update with Gergana.
The weekly update.
The weekly update.
I feel like I need a little sign to go through. Weekly update.
Breaking news.
No, that's not the breaking news. That's the weekly update.
How come everything on CNN is breaking news? They haven't had a single regular
On every
news.
channel, it's always breaking news.
Oh, really?
Like every minute's breaking news.
Really?
But some of the things that actually happened last week at our studio, let's transition so smoothly. We had a few group classes last week and we were very excited to have a bit more people at the studio. On Monday night, Crystal had her country swing class and they were...
How many people were there?
I think she had 28 or 29,
oh, wow.
but it was great because everybody brought their own partner. They just on the whole main ballroom, so the way she did it is she placed all the couples in a circle. You know how we have like a little pole in the middle of the studio. A little pole. But everybody had a lot of space. The best part about country swing is that obviously it's not a dance that travels around, so everybody stayed in their little space. And it was really good. People were just so happy to be back dancing. Yeah,
pretty much every single person walking through the doors is just being like, you can see the smile on their face. They're like, I'm so glad I'm back.
Yeah.
And we're happy. And did you like the screen that we put it on the desk?
Oh, the shield.
The one that I said it's too small?
No, it's perfect. The shield is perfect.
I need more protection.
Yeah.
From everyone. I just
But that studio has never been cleaner. We sanitize it every day, including the floor. So you're going to be quite safe even if you fell on your face and accidentally licked the floor, you're safe. It's clean. By the way, guys, your tummy was hurting this morning.
Would you like to not discuss this right now?
I'm just asking.
That's a very strange thing.
You okay?
Let's keep talking about what else happened.
How are you doing this
I'm
week?
very good. My tummy doesn't hurt.
Do you have a coffee this morning?
Yeah, I'm
Do
still
you have a brain injury as well?
What the? Both of you.
How is your brain injury going? Tell me about yesterday, Rado.
What happened yesterday?
I don't know. You taught a group class.
Oh yes. So yesterday was our first back to basics class. We both taught.
I know.
I worked the desk.
Yeah, Nikki worked the desk. What was interesting this time is for the first time, what we did is we had the class live at the studio. We had how many people? Maybe like 13, 14 people.
Yes.
And at the same time, we broadcasted on Zoom, so we had another good chunk of people there. So it was interesting because we never done that before, and I think this might be kind of the future of our classes, group classes. Yeah,
because typically we do either a class on Zoom or Facebook Live, or we have a class in person. And this time was, it actually helps to have like 2 or 3 teachers there because I was trying to make sure that people on Zoom are having a good time and enjoying the class, and Rado was more managing the people who were there in person. So I think it worked out really well.
Yeah. People are very quiet. Nobody's saying anything.
We're just not.
All right, so like always, you know that this is just a conversation. We don't want to talk to you. We want to talk with you. So if you have anything that you want to say or to discuss, and especially if it's concerning the ballroom world, the dance community in Arizona,
do it now.
Do it now. And very soon, probably in a few seconds, we will be inviting our guests. And there are plenty of things that you can. Are you going to do the countdown?
The few
really,
seconds.
both of you?
The few seconds.
We just have such a good connection. We're just stuck together.
So go ahead and make sure that you interact and talk to us. Ask us anything you want to ask.
Specifically, Rado, if you have questions for us.
I don't think.
But anyway, who's our guest today?
I'm very excited.
How excited are you?
Show us.
Show us.
What is happening?
You said you were very.
Can you go in the middle? Because I feel like you're closer to me. You gotta like be. Yeah, see, that's more symmetrical right now. We are going to have Mr. Larry Caves today as our guest. I am excited because I really want to talk about what's happening with college dancing. And Mr. Larry Caves is one of the senior lecturers at Arizona State University. He's been with them, I think, for 30 years. And
he's only 35.
I know, how does that work?
Wow.
He's also been teaching in our studio.
He did that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
2 months.
He did start dancing very
curious
young.
case.
Do you know that he had his first dance studio at age 24?
Oh.
What did you...
I opened my... how old was I when I opened my studio?
When you took over the studio? I don't know actually.
21.
Well,
God.
We were what, 13 maybe?
Yeah.
12 at the time.
You were 12, she was 10. No, you
11.
were 11, she was 10.
No, I was not 11, I was
Something
something like that.
I was a junior.
I think the math is not working.
That should tell you how long ago then.
Change the focus back to our guest.
Yes, but we really were interested in talking about what's going to be happening with schools. Obviously, some people have been discussing what's going to be happening with like the schedule for middle schools, high schools, and things like that, but also for colleges. And I think one of the things is the problem with ballroom dancing is that it's a partnership dancing. I think classes like ballet or hip hop or jazz, it's a little bit easier with the social distancing because people dance by themselves. Where ballroom dancing really at its core, it's partner dancing. So we're going to talk with Larry about that. So.
Yeah, and we're very blessed at NRG to have so many of those college kids coming to practice. They participate to almost every event that we have. So, and if there is someone to blame about those young, beautiful kids being passionate about ballroom dancing, this is our next guest. And I think you should introduce him and let's talk about it.
Let's welcome to
Let's chat it up
with Larry Caves.
Hi, Larry.
Come in.
Good morning.
Grab your coffee. Good morning. Good morning.
Me too. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Yes, and we need to talk about how we can get young people to be passionate about dancing.
And well, first of all, how are you doing? Everything is good.
Shoot.
Everybody.
Why would you not be good?
Exactly.
I have a choice.
We get to dance every day.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't gone to work in 30 years, 35.
Right.
I wake up in the morning and I go dance and I call it work.
Yeah.
I know.
So it's
get paid to torture our students.
Oh, I know. And they come back. It's the thing. And they pay for it. That's the next thing about that stuff.
So how did you start dancing?
I started dancing. I was actually at an East Mesa high school. I'm a native of Arizona. And so one of the hard things to choose is dance, and especially when you're a redneck and you grow up.
You a redneck?
Yeah.
How long just...
Yeah, I'm a redneck. Okay, but that means you grew up. Means you grew up. Yeah, we grew up in an area where basically dance was really not part of the culture. I could ride horses. I rode motorcycles, but dance was not part of the thing. So when you had a high school that literally. I would run the dances, or I'd organize the dances, and you'd walk out there and you'd go like, that doesn't look like dancing. It looks like just people are rocking back and forth when it's slow, and then they're going to sit separately when it's, the fast dances, or maybe jump up and down a little bit, but there was no dancing. So I literally asked one of my teachers, one of my mentors, and said, what is this dance thing? And she goes like, well, let me show you this box step thing. Yeah. And so it's really hard to describe, but it's really, you're going like, there's some organization to this stuff.
Yeah.
So that started me off, and I have been kind of on my own since I've been really, really young. And so I had janitorial services and stuff like that. So I was like really weird out there. And so basically I could afford to go take dance lessons. And I took group classes. And
where did you take lessons?
It was called 20th Century Dance Studio.
Here in
Arizona.
Was it in Mesa?
It was in Mesa. And it was run by a person, we won't name their name, but they were actually kicked out of Arizona because of their business practices.
Oh, really?
One of the kind of early days of contracts and getting people to sign up for $10,000 at a time, and locking them into. So it was that kind of a thing, and the state of Arizona asked him to please not be here anymore.
Just politely.
Right. So that was my introduction. But then, of course, I liked dancing, so I found other teachers. Wally and Peggy Freeman or Frey were really, really nice dancers in the area, and so I got hooked up with them. I started competing as an amateur.
Nice.
So that was where I got started as an amateur. And
how were competitions back in, like when you were starting?
When I was starting, competitions were still the same as they are today.
Yeah.
Really. You had Pro-Am, you had Am,
did you do international style or American?
I did international style.
Okay, that's so interesting that you started with international, because I feel so many people start with American style here.
I did not know American style until a little bit later. I found out, there's a social style to this. And then Arizona didn't have any real good trainers at that time, so you'd travel to California. Or what happened is later on, I was really, really lucky to have a student of mine, Trouty, and she was, really, really nice about bringing in professionals and flying them in here.
Coaches.
Yes, really conscious, and she was a patron. So basically, we would fly in all these people, or fly me to Houston, or I would travel, and really, really nice, because she benefited as well. So she,
of course,
so she was.
So here's my question. So many years you've been so involved with the dance community, not only in Arizona but in the States. Have you ever been through anything like what we've been going through right now?
Oh, of course not. This is. You're
unprecedented, right?
Right. This is a whole unprecedented movement towards like fear of being together, fear of being, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Growing up in where I grew up, basically in Arizona, everybody did everything. I mean, if you didn't, they actually used to have a name or little sayings about, well, you need to eat a peck of dirt before you die. That used to be one of the things.
Whatever that's supposed to mean.
Well, that's an old country.
I don't think the Bulgarians
are good. But they're talking about you need to get sick. You need to be dirty. You need to play in the mud. You need to do.
Oh, okay.
You need to develop immunities, develop things like that. So basically, as we have moved forward and became more polished culturally, we also became a little bit more susceptible to different things like this. So people have become a little bit weaker immune system. So
of course,
and that is happening with evolution, which is sad. I mean, but it's the way it is.
Yeah.
But I understand that right now people are fearful. They're fearful of, am I going to catch it? How's it going to affect me? What's going to happen?
Not knowing, I think, is the scariest thing about that situation. Because nobody knows. Nobody really knows what is going to happen or how it will affect
and individuals. I mean, me, I'm a realist. Sounds a little weird, but I'm a realist. I understand that this stuff can hit, and if you have an unhealthy immune system or you're older, I'm older, but I fear not, because the fact that I'm in good condition and dancing is...
Absolutely, but you keep in shape, you're very active. And another thing is, I think that because you're surrounded by all these college kids full of energy all the time.
That makes a big difference, and that's one of the reasons...
Mental health is actually a big factor for that, because you so, this is the time to address Gergana. This is actually intervention. Yes, we need to talk about your mental health.
My intervention, they have which many hobbies right now. I think that's really my intervention.
If you guys know Dr.
So how do you see the dancing? You know, the dancing industry changing.
It needs to let itself evolve. Maybe what we're doing, or what you're doing as well at ASU or at NRG, is to figure out new ways that people can feel safe and yet enjoy themselves dancing, enjoy the culture that is behind dance, and the camaraderie and the joy of being literally human. I mean, so that is what, and dance is one of those very few things that is like good for you as well. I have 3 consortiums I'm on, and one of them really covers about the social aspect of dance and being with youth, and why that really empowers your body to become better and to overcome some of the early, when we were younger, you ask a 10-year-old to draw grandma. What does she look like? Okay, well, they draw grandma, and your brain is already going, well, I guess I'm going to look like that when I get older. Okay, and so if we can change the mindset of people to be feeling like, gosh, I'm going to be really, really good for the rest of my life, or maybe I'm going to, you know, I'll keep here, I'll stay here, maybe I'll fall off really quickly. I'd rather do that than this, you know, okay.
Just gradually.
Yeah, you get to be, nice job. You get to be, you might want to clean that up.
Whose coffee was this?
That was an accident.
Right back. Nope, you're gonna be right back.
Okay, you be right back, I'll continue talking.
Tell me a little bit more. So, I mean,
This is what happened.
A lot of coffee right here. So I attended ASU many years ago. I didn't do the dance classes. If they're alive in the beginning of next week, it's gonna be a miracle.
I have no idea.
Oh my God!
Was I there?
Yes, you were at the graduation. But tell me a little bit, what's the plan right now? Because obviously every college is making different decisions.
Yes, they are.
And you have the insight of how things are happening at ASU right now.
Right now, ASU has taken their summer classes all online. We are planning for different asynchronous and synchronous classes at ASU, so that means we can do classes both in person and online. So we're trying to figure out how to do that with the social distancing protocols, basically, not really rules, but so we're saying that, you know, if we take painter's tape and make little squares on the floor, is that the best way? Well, I don't really think so. People are really aware of their own space. So like I saw yesterday, you know, with Back to Basics, you see that they're aware of each other. They understand social distancing just by which is by a natural way of doing things. It's not something you have to go like, you just say, hey, just be careful, wash your hands, you know, sanitize here and there. Just be aware of who you're with. So my proposal is that we actually make solo partnerships or a single partnership for the first half of the semester. Say maybe up until midterm you have this partner. And
you just dance with the same person for all the classes. That's a good idea.
Okay. And then you make this little agreement and you sign the agreement, just like you guys here.
That is true.
And then you say, okay, this is what I choose to do. I will be in this class, and then you will have some that do not have partners or do not want to have partners. They can be in the classroom solo, and they can study the same thing. And in my classes at ASU, has been for the last 10 years, we have no real gender role. So everybody learns both sides.
Oh, wonderful.
Everybody does. So all the students learn how to follow, all the students learn how to lead. So there's no, like the male shall lead, the female shall follow. So we have all of that as being learning to dance, not just learning a dance or learning to do the followers part of the rumba. Well, you learn so much about yourself and your partner's section of a dance by just studying both parts. You know, oh, I see the relationship.
Absolutely, I think you're a much better dancer, and I think for the college kids, I mean, maybe not all of them are gonna, you know, become dance teachers or professional dancers, but it's just so nice if they do pursue that career there. You already have a good stepping stone to move on.
I think that is one of the reasons we have such an enthusiastic
How many kids do you typically have in a class?
In the spring semester, we have 2 level 1 classes of ballroom. We call it Latin Swing Ballroom. And in those 2 level 1s, we had 77 in one and 65 in the other.
That's a good one.
Okay. In the country class, we had 56.
Nice.
And then we have a level 2 class that had, I think, 32, and a level 3 class that had 22.
Yeah.
And you teach all of them at the same time?
Oh no, of course.
I mean, a big group class? Or?
These are all group class settings,
Okay,
and we had an international, this semester we were lucky to have an international Latin class as well.
Well, we were discussing the other day, because he said he has 77 students, and I was just talking, I was like, now that's did I see a video? You showed me a video, or James did. Yeah. Oh my God, that's a completely different skill set to be able to teach 77, 19-year-olds who've never done lessons before or dancing before, and to get them to be excited. And they were just so much fun to watch. Like,
They are, and it is, I mean, that's what the joy of what I do is. That's why I sold studios. I got rid of everything and said, as soon as ASU said, you know, we're having, you know, really good success with this this program you're starting. We started with 1 level 1 class in 1993, basically, 92, 93, and we just had 1 level 1 intro to ballroom.
Yeah.
And then it started off, it just snowballed, and we had to hire other teachers, and then we now have a social and Latin program, so which is David, and we also have Deanna Peltz, and we have Matt, who is another teacher there. So we have more teachers now, and we have more ways to share this this love. Deanna and Matt are both students of mine from past, but we hooked them on dancing. Of course, we literally talk about it as like an addiction.
It is,
because you become so enthralled with this dancing, and literally there's more males than females in all of my upper division classes.
Oh, really?
Do you notice that on our Friday night classes, something similar happens? Like we either even as far as females and males, or we sometimes have more males too.
Ladies?
Yeah, ladies. You know, the guys are making an effort.
And it is interesting because beyond the level 1 class, the males become more curious about the geometrics of the patterns and how they go together, and the styling, the characteristic.
And they just want to be pretty.
I know, but that's how
some
you
of us are very
90% of the girls they dance there because of that's what they want to do. They want to feel pretty.
They want to feel
elegant,
classy, elegant.
And they want to express themselves. They want to express themselves. They hear music and they start moving, but they're moving randomly. And when guys are given a chance to move, I mean, when they're younger, generally guys don't jump up and down in the bed and play, you know, dancing stuff. But as you get older, you're going like, gee, I would like
a nice comment.
Nice dancing. But you realize that dancing is for everybody, and most of the time males don't have that opportunity in a young setting, especially in schools. That's one of the things we're attacking right now. Is we're trying to say, you want to talk about diversity and equity, you look at a high school dance class, there's 95% are female. That is not good. So we need to actually invite more young males into the dance movement type of situation so that they can literally enjoy life through connection, through movement.
What's interesting, you've been to Europe many times and you know the European dance culture. What's interesting, for example, in Europe, the dancing is so popular among the kids and the young adults, and around age of 19, 20, 21, that's when it's over for most of them.
And then ours is reversed.
And here is like that's when you start getting more interest into the dancing. That was one of the first cultural shocks that I had. That when I came here, I was like, wow, so many people, they're my age or older, or even older than my mom's age. Some of them are like, wow, those people are amazing. Look at them. And in Europe, it's really all about the kids.
Oh my gosh! And Europe, because I've competed there as well. I was like shocked. At 35, they're called seniors.
Oh
Right,
yeah. I know. It's terrible.
Yeah, it
But
is.
it's true.
I'm
It's
a
a
senior
true,
now.
true statement.
We all are.
No, we're not all seniors.
She's not.
She just closed.
Not all of us are. By the way, I just want to read a comment from Chantel Sanchez. She said, "You're the best of the best. How I miss dance so much. Thank you for teaching me everything I know about ballroom." And she's saying
That's
it
good.
hard. Yeah.
Chantel is.
Yeah. So, but I think it's just, you know, getting people to fall in love with ballroom dancing or Latin or country dancing, just any kind of partner dancing.
It's, and that's what we call it now. We literally have kind of gotten rid of the name ballroom, and we're calling it partnership dance. And because partnership, we call it social and partnership at ASU.
Okay.
And it really is, it encompasses more because we now have the bachatas and the zouks and the countries, and so we don't want to have that overarching umbrella we have of ballroom dancing. So we're trying to. It's a partnership dancing, and it's really that what you said is you know, the COVID thing, the fear of that has really kind of stymied us a little bit as to how to go forward into because the switching of partners, the switching we teased about it years ago. We used to say it's the best speed dating you can have.
It's like 3 minutes, usually a social dance. You get to know someone, you chat. Are they a good dancer? No.
And we also tease about the fact that you can literally almost tell what the person is like.
You can tell the personality of a person just by looking the way they dance.
Right. By the way the male dances with the female. How does he take care of her? Does he blame her for the mistakes? Does he?
Yes.
Oh my God,
You
absolutely.
It always.
Or like when you're teaching couples, no, but it's very interesting how when you teach couples, whatever age they are, whether they're college level couples or just older couples, and it's just interesting to notice the dynamic. And you're right, and sometimes people are just so nice to each other because they take the blame even if it's not their fault, which is something, you know, it's
something
nice to
you
learn.
know very well.
I don't know what to say.
Nothing.
They take the blame. What are you suggesting? That we are on to right?
Yeah. So what's right now the plan then for
Well,
the
right
fall?
now, moving forward into fall is the fact that we're planning on doing in-person classes, and we're going to try to maybe do half on, say if we have a Monday, Wednesday class, so half of that class is in the room on Monday, and half of the class is in the room on Wednesday.
Okay.
And then the other half is watching on Zoom to pick up the skills.
Okay, very nice. Okay.
So we're doing like an asynchronous class, but it's also in the classroom. They're required to be there one time per week.
Okay.
Okay. And they can choose which they can rotate.
Oh, gotcha.
And that way they can learn the actual physical skills, which they do need to learn.
Yes.
And then they can turn around and learn a little bit more about what the theories are that are behind it.
Right.
Right now, I'm actually working on an interesting study guide for university use, and it talking about when do we introduce the concepts, when do we introduce even the words, like line of dance, and when do we introduce the word,
the
terminology. But when do you put that in there? So you don't need to tell them about
day one
contrabody movement.
Day one, you talk about the three-dimensional swing and waltz.
Oh yes,
and that's when you look up and you're like, wait, this is a physics class. Exactly. They're like, I thought about meet girls.
And actually, that is what you just said. Is a lot of the engineers and young males in the classes, come in there, they go like, oh, I don't have any in my engineering class. I'm going to meet some in dance class. But they come in the classroom and they're excited about dance. In fact, half of them are dancing with other guys because there might not be enough girls, and they're happy with dancing with others. And they're just dancing. They want to dance. They don't care about the rules, and they don't care about what the situation is. They go like, okay, I want to be good at this stuff. I want to be really, and so again, I volunteered to be at ASU because of that opportunity. How seldom do you get the opportunity to influence young lives?
Absolutely.
And this is the one way I had studios. Okay, so studios were wonderful, but the demographic are basically a little bit older. They have disposable income, disposable time. But they're not going to be carrying it into a long-term future and sharing that.
Correct.
And doing stuff. So, but they have really learned so much about themselves, about life, about rhythm, about partnership,
teamwork,
community.
Yes.
So much in those
basic communication.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
My students tease about life lessons with Larry.
Right.
I've heard that actually.
So, but they talk about that.
Aren't they all dance lessons?
Yeah, I don't really. That's what I joke. I like have like a little hashtag.
All
I'm
of
like,
them.
Yeah, but
dance lesson, life lesson.
Yeah, it is life lessons because you learn about touch. You learn about. We're trying to put it in schools because if we can put it in schools, the young girls learn how to communicate with young boys in a positive
So
way.
important.
Yes.
And then what happens is if they get it at an early age, then she knows how to say, could you give me more of this? I want more. And that was too harsh. That was too easy. So she learns how to communicate, and he learns how to take feedback.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen later in life. It becomes this one-up situation with a male.
Yeah, and you have that awkwardness, like teenagers communicating with the opposite sex for quite some time, and it could cause a lot of troubles or problems.
And it ends up in
ballroom dancing just teaches you like, hey, they're just human, they're friends. Just talk,
and they're doing. Yeah, they're learning so much about themselves too. About that I reacted wrong in that case. And I need to think a little bit differently. And if they're doing that at 5 years old, in fact, we have Masako Amai is one of my students, and she is a teacher in Title I school. And those Title I schools, she did Dancing with the Stars, basically, and she had 30 little kids from an underrepresented group, and they loved it. The parents did not want their kids to stop. It was like an 8-week class.
Yeah.
And then we have Mary Mello, who's doing her internship with me, and she has the entire Pendergast School District, which is West Phoenix. Again, almost all Title I schools, which is again, they're coming from a background where they're not as affluent and don't have the resources. So dance is going to help them as well. So they learn how to diffuse situations. They learn how to create a little better communication on an equal level, because again, sometimes in these situations, the male always feels like he can yell, he's stronger, he's bigger, and he can, and he's always right.
Obviously, this male has not been around your gun enough.
Just come for a dance lesson with me.
Well, listen, we're getting some comments about buffering, and this is normal. Usually on the weekend, the Wi-Fi is not as strong, but you will be having a chance to see the full episode later today on Facebook. We are actually recording that whole episode on a separate device, so we will post it as soon as the show is over, which is about now.
Unfortunately now.
About
Thank
now.
you so
We all
much.
have to go and teach. We all have to go and dance.
He has the day off.
Nikki is gonna go to the studio and dance as well.
And you have the day off tomorrow.
Yes.
No, actually, he is teaching
I teach
later.
David,
Oh, okay.
Fishing and teaching in one day.
In
one day, yeah.
So you're
Gotta
going
do
to
it.
fly up there.
Talking about who's a
challenge.
redneck / ballroom dancer.
Talk about diversity.
Yes.
He's going to go.
I hope I catch some trout.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh yeah, last time I caught 5 trouts.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you eat them or did you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
barbecue, cook them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He actually cooked them, yeah.
All right, see you
Thank
next
you guys for
Sunday.
joining
Bye-bye.
us.
Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, well, your coffee, I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
But
I'm good.
But it's done. It's resolved. This is
You're
a
good.
nice.
I'm doing it from here, Nikki.
Yeah. So.
Oh, you do it from there?
This is such a nice bar because it doesn't leak
Can you
through. It
Oh,
doesn't,
no, this is a good bar.
it doesn't affect, that little bit of liquid didn't go